Record. Welcome, everybody. Oh, good. Bill's here. You made it. Great. Don't unmute yourself now because we're recording. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. Welcome, everybody. This is our Thera Yoga class. So come into your seated posture. Bill, let's talk after. We're recording
now. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
Okay. All right. So sit up tall. And hopefully you have that wedge to keep the hips just slightly above the knees. And here for a moment, squeeze those glutes a little bit, begin to activate your body. Notice how as you squeeze those glutes, you lengthen, you get a little taller. Do that a couple more times. Feel how that feels in your body. And then relax. So on Friday, or maybe it was Thursday, I listened to one of my teachers, and he suggested that relaxation is a skill. So let's develop that skill little by little in this class. When you relax, really relax and become aware of that relaxation. But we're not going to do that quite yet. Let's inhale. Feel that length again in your body. Feel that expansion. And exhale, soften a little bit. Relax a little bit in that exhale. Let's start with the feet today. And you can add the hands as you choose. So let's start by doing our inchworm forward and back with those feet. Keep breathing deeply and gently as you move your hands and feet. If you want to move your hands as well as your feet, you can do that. Forward and back, adding more awareness, more flexibility to the feet and the hands as well if you are adding your hands. Good. One more time. Inchworm back and then forward again to where it's most comfortable for your knees. Take your hands and just slide them up and down your legs a little bit. You're breathing in deeply and gently, adding some movement to that breath with your hands, moving on your legs a little bit. Now lift those hands and shake them out a bit. Today I want to also, so we've started with our hands and feet both. So let's bring those hands into a prayer pose, but make it a very loose, kind of almost flower-like prayer pose, almost like a bud. So just kind of loose. So this is a little exercise that I was playing with recently, and it feels really good to me. So maybe it'll feel good to you too. So just allow a little motion in those hands, a little fluidity to the joints, and then take your hands, and I'm going to come closer so it's easier for you to see, and turn them like this. And then slide them and curl those fingers in very gently, just very gently. And then relax them and slide them together again into a prayer pose. Do the other way. Slide them apart slightly and curl those hands in. Doesn't that feel nice? Just very gently. You're moving your hands in a way that warms them, allows a little more flexibility. So do that a couple more times. Just bringing them into that open prayer pose, maybe with some movement, and then turning them so the palms face each other, sliding them a little bit apart, and then curling those hands, those fingers together. And that's like your little baby elephants playing. Let's do it one more time. Just a little bit of a fluid motion for those joints. And then the other way, just curling them in and feeling that warmth that your fingers can give each other. Okay, now shake it out. And let's return to our feet. And you can add the hands again if you want. So sit up tall. You want to make sure you're using those core muscles to keep your body nice and tall. Shoulders at home. Let's do a little shoulder rolling before we focus on the feet again. Roll those shoulders, maybe shake those arms out, maybe a little bouncing as you shake a little bit. And then we're going to do our tapping. So bring those feet to wherever they feel best and tap. And you can add the hand movement any way that feels good. And I see Bill and Katie both. Oh, good. Okay. So I wasn't sure if Katie was here, but I'm glad to see you are here. Let's tap for about 30 seconds. And again, you can do any motion that might feel good for your hands and arms if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, that's about 30 seconds. Let's relax. Practice that relaxation. Notice how it feels different than the action. Develop that skill of relaxation. And then stretch one leg at a time. However it feels good for you. Bringing the foot to stretch back. The top of the foot stretches back. Any amount. And then return to your seated posture. Let's do a couple moving mountains before we tap again. So if it feels good, you can press gently into your heels. Exhale here completely. And then inhale, pressing slightly into those heels and stretching the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, soften and relax the arms back down to your sides. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale. And consciously rotate those thumbs to the back here as you inhale and stretch those arms up. Maybe you'll wiggle those fingers a bit, and as you exhale, soften. And notice how, as you get about here, your arms start to turn and the palms face the midline. Let's do that again. Inhale, stretching up, reaching up. Let's stay here this time and pick some apples. So any amount, stretch one arm up and that twist of the wrist, any amount. Maybe you're picking grapes and they're high and you're just picking them one at a time with your fingers. Just have fun. Wiggle those fingers a little bit, stretching your body a little bit. Keep breathing. Any amount of motion. And as you're ready, you can shake those arms out and bring them back a bit to feel that area between your shoulder blades. Keep breathing. And gradually let those arms relax alongside the body. Shake it out a bit. So let's, again, before we go back to our feet one more time, we're going to do our head turn. So shake those arms out. Find your nice tall spine, and with an inhale, bring arms up above your head. Feel that stretch, and as you exhale, let that right arm gently float down, turning your face to look towards the right. Relax that arm as completely as you can. You've turned your head. You can glance over your shoulder as you inhale. Float the arm back up, bring the head forward, and feel the stretch in the sides of your body. Now the left arm gently floats down and you turn your head any amount towards the left. Relax that arm. Glance over your shoulder. And as you inhale, float the arm back up, bring the head forward. Feel the stretch. Let's do it again on each side, floating that right arm down, gently turning towards the right. Relax the arm. How does it feel? You can glance over your shoulder if that feels good. Inhale, float the arm back up, bring the head forward. Feel the stretch. Left arm floats down as you exhale, gently turning towards the left. Relax the arm. You've turned your head. How does that feel? As you inhale, float the arm back up, bring the head forward. Feel the stretch. One more time on each side. Right arm floats down as you exhale. Now the left arm can relax a bit and do whatever it feels like doing. And as you inhale, Float that right arm back up and stretch both arms up. Your head comes forward. Left arm floats down, gently turning towards the left. Relax the arm. You've turned your head. What's happening with that right arm? Do what feels fun. As you inhale, float the arm back up and feel the stretch both sides of your body. You can just give more movement to those arms as you bring them down. Any amount. So my shoulders are really moving here. Any amount of motion to bring them down, just for fun. Shake it out a little bit. More shoulder rolls, never hurts. Keep breathing. Now you can take your hands and rest them on your thighs, or you can leave them alongside your body, you choose. And let's tap again for 30 seconds. Tap those feet. Sitting up nice and tall, breathing deeply and gently. Keep tapping. Keep going. We've got about 10 more seconds. Keep breathing. And now relax. Relax, relax. Notice that difference. Stretch one leg at a time. Keep breathing deeply and gently. We got the sad little dog today. She's been doing really well, except today. Okay, so sitting up tall, notice how you feel. Let's pick up the weights. Where did I put my weights? Do a little calf lifting with those weights resting above your knees. About 12 of these lifts is good. And then settle and let your arms just lengthen with those weights in hand. Keep breathing. Let's do our 3-part bicep curls. Here's the first increment, tiny little pumps 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lower down slowly. Keep breathing. Give yourself a shoulder roll on each side. And then let's bring those weights up and above the head and behind the head for our tricep extension. Let's do 5 of these. Keep that core strong here. And here we go. 1, 2, at your own pace. 3, 4. That core is staying strong. 5, and lower down slowly. Keep breathing. Let those hands loosen up a little bit. Try not to grip the weights too tightly, just tight enough so they don't roll out of your hand. Keep breathing. Let's do our second set of bicep curls. First increment, tiny little pumps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 second increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And slowly lower down. Keep breathing. Shoulder roll. Now let's bring those weights up like this. And just do tiny movements. Let's do 10 of these. Just a little small movement. Keep your shoulders at home and just strengthen those muscles. Easy like this. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lower down slowly again. Keep breathing. Shoulder roll. Twice on each side. And then bring the weights up for another tricep extension. Feel that extending and lowering down. Take care, don't hit yourself. Let's do another 5. 1, 2, 3. Can you feel it in your core as you're doing this? I do. 4, and 5. And lower down, keep breathing. Let's let those weights just stretch those arms a little bit. Keep the shoulders at home. And one more set of bicep curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third increment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And slowly lower down. Keep breathing. Let's do one more of these, just 8 of them this time. 1, 2, make it a small, not difficult movement. 3, if it's difficult for you, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower down, easy. Keep breathing. Let's set these weights down now. Out of the way. We may revisit them later. We're standing or laying down. Shake it out a little bit. Oh, do you feel lighter now that you don't have the weights in your hands? Just notice how that feels. And let's stand up into our Uttanasana. As you're ready, get yourself set up to stand up easy. And with an inhale, maybe you lean back, swing those arms back. As you exhale, coming forward, press into those heels and lift into your fierce pose, chair pose, Uttanasana. Keep that spine nice and long. Breathe. Inhale, feel the length. Maybe you'll reach those arms strongly up. As you exhale, soften a little bit. Inhale. Exhale, let's inhale up to standing. And exhale, release those arms alongside your body. How do you feel? Let's shake all the limbs out. Good. Okay, so standing nice and tall, find your mountain pose, bean-shaped feet. Remember how to do that? Start with your feet parallel, bring the weight forward, lift the heels, turn them in. Now you've got that nice situation where your hips, knees, your femur, your knees, and your toes are all kind of out a little bit. That leaves room for your spine and your pelvis to move. It's a good way to set yourself up. Okay, so a little bit of bouncing here with the rebounding. Just let your heels bounce up and down. Let the whole body get into the action. Keep breathing. Now you've got your chair nearby, so use it as you need it. And let's just go up on those toes. Feel that stretch. Your feet are getting strong here and down. Bring the weight to your heels. Lift and wiggle those toes. Let's do that a couple more times. So bring the weight forward and stretch those feet, lifting the heels up off the floor. As you're ready, bring the heels back down, shift the weight into your heels, wiggle your toes a little bit. Keep those knees and hips soft. Here we go, one more time. Stretch. Reach those heels up off the floor. You're stretching your feet a little bit. And as you exhale, bring your weight back to your heels. Keep breathing and wiggle those toes a bit. Okay, so now let's do a balance pose. You've got your chair, so you can use it. Let's shift to the right leg. Empty all the weight out of the left. Keep breathing. As you're ready, peel that left heel up off the floor. Come up to your toes. And then release the toes. And just shake that foot out a little bit. You can use your chair for support. Shake it out. Keep breathing. Now maybe a tiny bit of motion for that whole leg. A little bit of rotation. And then go the other way. Just tiny motion. Keep breathing. And as you're ready, return that foot to the floor. Notice how you feel. Let's do the other side similarly. You may need to turn around or change where you are, shifting to the left. Feel how you've released any weight from the right foot. Everything's in the left. Now you can pick up that right foot, shake it out a little bit. Any amount of motion there. Keep breathing. Maybe a tiny circle for that whole leg. Keep the knee relaxed. And the other way. Keep breathing. As you're ready, bring that foot back down to the floor. Notice how you feel. A little more rebounding. Now let's bring the leg back. So same thing, only this time we're going to bring the leg back. Shift to the right. Empty the left from weight. You've got all the weight in the right. Now slide the toes back. Your knee is bending. Any amount, just it can look like this. Or it can look like this. Do what feels good for you. Standing on one leg, just a little more freedom in that hip. Knee bends and straightens just a little bit. Now bring yourself back to your mountain. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. Shift to the other side. You might lower down just a little bit. You've emptied the weight from the right this time. Let's slide that foot back. Any amount. Just move it gently back. Good. Now return to your mountain. Notice how you feel. A little more rebounding. Roll those shoulders open. Keep breathing. Let's do some very gentle forward folds. So I think it was Friday, I brought this into the mix. This is a 1-inch diameter dowel. It's about 48 inches long. And this is how I'm monitoring my spinal health and not rounding over as I fold forward. So maybe you'll get one of these and you can monitor that spine a little bit as you're forward folding. So things to remember about forward folds. You want to make sure your hips and knees, you have a wider stance, makes it easier to fold forward. And you're hinging at the hips. That is probably the most important thing. We want to avoid that rounding over that is so ingrained in us. Most of us tend to round over, and that is not as healthy for the back as this keeping your spine stacked. So any amount, do these forward folds with that wider stance. And you can slide your hands down your legs and back up the back of the legs if that feels good for you. Let's do this a few more times, sliding into a forward fold, any amount, and then back up. Maybe it'll feel good to reach for the chair. Feel the forward fold, any amount. Do a few more that feels good to you. Now, some of us may be able to forward fold all the way down. Don't stress about it. If your body doesn't want to do this, it's okay. Everybody's different. And I'm going to play with a little head on the chair seat just for fun. See if I can keep my neck relaxed and lengthening, and do some forward folds here. Letting my body stretch and keeping my neck relaxed. So maybe something like that would feel good for you. Keep breathing. And I've got my legs really wide now. You can do this if it feels good. Whatever you're doing, keep breathing. Let's come on up now as you're ready. Bring those feet a little closer together. Shake them out. Roll your shoulders. Let's do our lunging practice, a little bit of lunging practice. So let's take from mountain pose, shift to the right and step back. Take a step back with the left. Find a comfortable lunge. In your lunge, lean forward, feel a stretch. So maybe even taking your hands to your hips, leaning forward and feel the stretch for a moment here. It doesn't matter if your knees bent or straight, if your heels up off the floor, do what feels best in your body. Keep breathing. Let's bring those hands back. Come into a lunge with your arms back. Release. Any amount of lunging here. Get some practice. You can bend and straighten that extended back leg. Keep breathing. Now let's go ahead and step forward. Notice how you feel. And do the same or similar on the other side. So shift to the left. Take that step back with the right. Find your lunge. You're leaning forward a little bit to make sure you don't have a compression in your back. Any amount. You can use your chair for support. Bend and straighten that extended back leg. Keep breathing. Now really feel it as you stretch back. Let's step forward again. And let's come into a lunge one more time. And this time be very aware of really using the muscles here. So come into a lunge. Use whatever support feels good for you. Really squeeze those muscles like your glutes, all the muscles that are working to keep you in this lunge. Squeeze them and then release, relax, but stay in the pose. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, squeeze all those muscles. Feel the squeeze of all those muscles that are holding you in this pose. And exhale, relax a bit. 1 more breath. Squeeze those muscles that are holding your body in this shape. And exhale, relax. Let's step forward. Notice how that feels. You really will start feeling your muscles. Let's shift to the right and step back with the left. Do the same thing here. So using your support if you need it, you're leaning forward and you're really squeezing those muscles as you inhale and exhale, soften a bit. Inhale, squeeze, and you can do your arms and your legs, any parts that you can feel squeezing, go ahead and squeeze, especially those muscles that are keeping you in this shape. Exhale, soften a bit. 1 more breath. Squeeze those muscles that are holding you in this shape. And exhale, soften. Step forward. Notice how you feel. Shake it out a bit. Give yourself a shoulder roll. Let's take those hands and give your neck a little stretch. Any amount. Just let that neck get some of that healing energy from your fingers, your hands. Let it stretch here. Keep breathing. So 2 ways I'm getting taller. I take my hands and I press down here using my shoulders as that suspension point. Pretty much every day I feel a little release in my back and it feels pretty good. I'm using my shoulders to lift and lengthen my whole spine with my hands pressing on the tops of my hips. Soften a little bit, shake it out. And then lengthening the back of the head a little bit. So rib cage is anchored in. And I'm creating a little more space between the ribs and the top of the hips, especially when I do this. So I can recommend this. You may feel little pops and cracks, but usually it's really good. Okay, shake it out. Get some water if you need it. I need it. Now let's do our leg lifting. So again, using support. You don't have to be in a lunge. Do a comfortable stance. Nice and tall. When you're standing upright and your weight is mostly in your heels, can you begin to feel all those muscles from your heels up to your waist? Just notice that. Strong muscles. Shake it out a bit. Okay, let's shift to the right and do leg lifts out with that left leg 12 times. 3, 4, however it feels good for you. 5, 6. Now maybe you want to do circles. 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to go the other way. So do some movements that feel good, whether it's a circulation or just a lift out, do that. And I know that's at least 12. So now just soften, come back to your nice upright pose. Notice how you feel. And then again, we're going to shift to the right. And this time bring that left leg back. Any amount. However it feels good. Maybe it's a tiny little circles. 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go the other way. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then return to your mountain. Notice how you feel. Nice, tall. Standing upright. Neck is aligned above the spine. Let's do the other side. So shift to the left now and bring that right leg out in whatever way feels good. About 12 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm circulating. So now I'm going to go the other way 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. Return to mountain. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. Nice tall body. Now back. 1, 2, any amount. 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're circulating, you can go the other way. 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax back to your mountain. Notice how you feel. A little bit of rebounding. Any amount. Let's do that again on each side. So shifting to the right again. Bring that left leg out. If you want to circulate, go 6 times in one direction. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 times in the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back to your mountain. Notice how you feel. Nice, tall, strong core. Now more back on that left side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're circulating, you can go the other way. 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax yourself back to your mountain. Stand up tall. Keep breathing. Do the other side. Right leg out. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go the other way, circulating around. You can just lift it out if you want. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now more back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And opposite direction. If you're circulating. 3, 4, 5, 6. And return to your mountain. Notice how you feel. Take your hands on your waist, widen your stance a little bit. Let's do tiny little squats. Tiny little squats. Let's do 12. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All those muscles working together. 11, 12. Good. Shake it out. Keep breathing. All those shoulders. So now let's do our figure 4. If you want to stand doing figure 4, you can stand doing figure 4, or you can sit in your chair. So standing, doing figure 4. Please do sit if you want. So I have shifted my weight to my right leg. Now I'm going to lift my left and place it above the knee. Please sit down if it works better for you sitting. Keep breathing. Give your foot some love. Now, if you're standing and doing this, you will have to have really strong balance and soft knee and hip. Work on your feet one at a time with this figure 4. Keep breathing. And as you're ready, please do this in your chair. Stretch that leg out. As you feel complete with that stretch, bring your foot back to the floor. Sit up or stand up nice and tall. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. And let's do the other side. So shift to the left. Feel that groundedness. Your hips and knees stay nice and bendy. Turning that knee out. Bring the foot into that figure four and work on your foot a little bit. Keep breathing. As you're ready, you can stretch this leg out any amount. Everybody's different. Keep breathing. Use your props. And as you feel complete with that stretch, bring that foot back to the floor. Notice how you feel. Give yourself a shoulder roll. Open up those shoulders. Keep breathing. Shake things out a little bit. Now, as you're ready, let's come on to our back. So either on the floor or in your recliner, set yourself up. And we'll do a few bench presses today on our backs. So you may want to set yourself up with a chair to put your legs up after we do some bench presses. And before we do some bench presses, we're going to do a couple of other things, like our knees to chest, if that feels good for you. Of course, if it doesn't, you won't do that. So come on down onto your back and start by giving your back a stretch. So pressing down gently on the tops of those hips, but keep the rib cage anchored in. So maybe you can feel the backs of your ribs, the ribs and backs on the ribs in the back on the floor a little bit. Get comfortable, stretch that spine. Take your hands again to your neck. Give your neck a stretch. Keep breathing. Let's lift those arms up and shake them out a bit. And then give yourself a hug. Take the right arm on top of the left and give yourself a hug. How about that little infinity symbol? Draw the infinity symbol with your elbows here 4 times, going one direction. And then reverse the direction, go 4 times, drawing the infinity symbol with your elbows in the other direction. Adding a little more flexibility to that area of your body. Now take any tension you might feel in those shoulders and arms and bring it out, shake it out. Now hug yourself with the left over the right. Draw 4 little infinity symbols going one way. And then reverse that direction. 4 more going the other way. Good. Any tension you might be able to collect into your hands, take it out and shake it out. Good. Now your feet are flat on the floor, your knees are bent. Relax a little bit here. Feel those femurs just kind of descending into the hip sockets. Now, as you're ready, with an inhale, pick those feet up off the floor. And as you exhale, let the knees gently come towards the body. Inhaling, the knees come above the hips. Keep the ankles and knees relaxed. Exhale, gently draw the knees towards the body. Relax those shoulders onto the floor as best you can. Once again, inhale, the knees come above the hips. And exhale, draw the knees towards the body. Now, if this feels good, you can certainly use your hands and change the motion a little bit, maybe a little circular action. Keep breathing. Do some movement that feels good for you. You can pick up those feet and shake them out. Shake out your hands too. How does that feel? This is our inversion, or a form of inversion. How does it feel in your body? Keep breathing. Let's bring those feet to the floor again and do some stretching here before we do our half bridges. So extend your arms and legs. Let's take that right arm up and the left arm relaxes alongside your body. As you inhale, stretch the right arm and leg away from each other. As you exhale, soften, let the limbs flop, but keep that right arm up. Let's do that again. Inhale. Stretch the right arm and leg away from each other. And exhale, soften and flop. Let's bring that right arm down and pick up the left arm and stretch the left arm and leg away from each other. As you inhale, stretch. Maybe those limbs will want to pick up off the floor as you stretch with that inhale. Exhale, soften and flop. Again, stretch the left arm and leg away from each other with an inhale. Exhale, soften and flop. Now bring your left arm back to alongside your body. And let's do opposite limb stretch. So bring that right arm up. Now the right arm and the left leg stretch away from each other. Feel that relationship between those opposite limbs. Exhale, soften. One more breath. Inhale, right arm, left leg, stretch away from each other. Exhale, soften. Bring the right arm down. Lift the left arm up. Now the left arm and the right leg. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften. Feel that relationship between the left arm and the right leg as you inhale. Stretching across the body. Exhale, soften and flop. Now let's do all four limbs. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften and flop. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften and flop. Let's bring those arms alongside the body. Bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the floor, about hip width apart, and we'll do a couple of half bridges. As you inhale, press into those feet, float the arms up overhead, let your neck adjust any amount for nice length and comfort. Keep the shoulders on the floor, the head stays on the floor. As you exhale, float everything back down to the floor. Inhale, feel those glutes squeezing as you inhale and lift those hips up. How does it feel? As you exhale, relax, floating everything back down to the floor. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, feel those glutes squeezing as your hips lift up. Feel this pose. And as you exhale, gently float everything back down to the floor. Now, maybe a momentary Baddha Konasana would feel good for you. Bring the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to just rest out to the side. How does that feel? Keep breathing. Bring a little more relaxation into those joints and muscles for a moment. Okay, now stretch your legs out again. Maybe a little bit of that lymphatic pump would feel good here. Let's do our bench presses. So let's do 2 sets of 10. So start with your elbows fairly close to your body, your shoulders stay at home. And let's do 10 bench presses. 1, You can have your feet flat on the floor if that's preferable for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Set those weights down. How about pick up your left leg and your right arm and just bring them up to face the ceiling. Opposite limbs. Maybe you can reach for that toe with your hand. How does that feel? Keep breathing. Let's release that. Let that arm come alongside your body. Now pick up the left arm and the right leg. Can they meet? Can you get a little stretch there without any stress? So stretch with no stress. Keep breathing. Feels good. It's kind of a nice release. Let's let that come back down. And let's do another 10 bench presses. As you're ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Set those weights down. Bend your left knee and take your right hand and give a little circulation. Either hand, both hands. Do what feels good. Just circulate that knee around a little bit. You can lift the leg up and shake it out. And then do the same thing on the other side. Do what feels good in your body. If this doesn't feel good, do something else. If this feels good, enjoy it. Keep breathing. Now, maybe a little bit of windshield wiper would feel good for you. You can do that here. With the feet separated wider, as far as the mat is wide. Gently let your knees move one way and the other. Keep breathing. It's time for us to get ready for Shavasana. Let's do one more stretch here. How about a pencil stretch? And then we'll get ourselves set up for Shavasana. So with an inhale, you can bring your arms up over your head and stretch from the core out the fingertips and out the toes. And as you exhale, soften. Let's do 3 breaths like that. Inhale, point and stretch. Exhale, soften and flop. One more breath like that. As you inhale, point, stretch. And exhale, soften and flop. Okay, so now it's time to set yourself up to practice relaxation. So it's a skill. So practice it. Let every muscle in your body relax. Set yourself up for maximum comfort. So that might mean that you're going to have support under your shoulders, neck, and head, maybe under your knees. Get yourself set up for the best, most comfortable, most relaxing pose you can find. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording this. So if you're watching this recording later, it's time now to relax for about 5 minutes. And thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. But those of you who are here with me, I am going to stop the recording now.